All right, so you're hoping to be a basket maker, huh?
That's right.
Well, we are diving deep into how to get that job with some help from RoleCatcher.
And not just any job.
Oh, yeah.
The dream job.
Exactly.
The one you've been weaving in your mind.
I love that.
And RoleCatcher has given us a bunch of resources we're going to look at
They have.
to help get you ready for your interview.
Okay, perfect.
We've got their career guide. We've got sample interview questions.
Yes.
And
AI.
the best part is their AI tools that can help you tailor your answers and really stand out from the crowd.
Love it. Okay, so before we get into the super nitty-gritty of like what to say in the interview, I think it's helpful to understand like what does a basket maker actually do all day?
Sure.
What are we really talking about here?
Well, the career guide kind of hits the nail on the head. It's this blend of creativity, right? You're designing these pieces.
Yep.
You need the technical skills to weave them. But there's also...
It's almost like a little bit of business savvy.
Yes. Especially if you're selling your own work.
Right, because you have to think about sourcing the materials.
Yeah.
You have to like...
You've got to market yourself.
Market yourself. Price things appropriately.
And problem solve when things inevitably go wrong.
Oh, totally.
It's a lot more than just
way more
sitting there with reeds in your hand.
Totally. And I do love how the career guide also talks about like the pros and cons, you know, like it's not shying away from being like,
it's not all sunshine and roses.
It's not all sunshine and roses. Exactly.
There are some.
Like you might not make a ton of money.
Right. It can be physically demanding.
Physically demanding.
Jobs aren't always readily available.
Right. But on the flip side.
The flip side is...
super creative.
You're working with your hands.
It's hands-on.
You're bringing beauty into the world.
Yeah, you're potentially like working with these beautiful natural materials.
Yeah. It's very tactile.
It is.
And rewarding in that way.
Totally. Okay, so let's talk about how RoleCatcher can help prep for this interview because...
this is the cool part.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
So this is the part that like...
it blew my mind.
Blew my mind.
It's like having a whole team of career coaches and interview experts all condensed into this incredible AI system.
Okay.
So first of all, it can help tailor your CV and your resume to the specific job description that you're applying for. So it scans for missing skills, suggests improvements. It highlights the areas that you want to make sure.
So it's like having
you're emphasizing
a super powered proofreader.
Yes. Who knows the basket making?
Knows the basket making world. Yes.
And also, here's the even cooler part.
Okay.
You can practice your interview answers and the AI will give you feedback on your answers.
So what kind of feedback are we talking here?
So it looks at things like clarity, the tone of your response, how well you're showcasing your skills.
Okay.
So it's like having a mock interview with a professional.
It's amazing who can give you...
Okay, I'm ready for these questions.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Bring it on.
Okay. Question number 1 from RoleCatcher is, what inspired you to become a basket maker?
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's a good one, right? And it seems kind of basic.
Yeah.
But
there's a lot more to it.
I think so too.
Than meets the eye.
What do you think the interviewer's trying to get at with this?
They're trying to see your passion. They want to hear that genuine story and that connection you have to the craft.
Okay, so it's not just enough to be like, I like to work with my hands or like...
Or I think baskets are neat.
Yeah, I think baskets are neat.
Yeah.
So what kind of things would you recommend people think about when they're...
Think about a specific moment or person.
Or an experience that really solidified for you that basket making was something you wanted to pursue.
Yeah, like was there like a family member or...
Yes.
Or like,
did you see a beautiful basket somewhere?
A trip.
Or maybe you took a class.
Yes.
And you just fell in love with the process.
Totally.
Make it personal.
Yeah.
Make it memorable.
And I think don't be afraid to be like...
Yes, a little vulnerable.
Yeah.
Show them that you're a human being who loves this craft. And that'll make your answer.
And it'll make it more memorable.
Stand out.
Yes.
Okay, so we're back and ready to tackle more of those sample interview questions.
I'm excited. I feel like we made some good headway with that first one.
We did.
Getting that story across, you know, like why you're passionate about basket making.
Totally.
Okay, you ready for question number 2?
Yeah, bring it on.
Okay. RoleCatcher asks, what experience do you have with different basket making techniques? Now, this one, it's tempting to just be like, oh, I know how to do this and this and this and this and this.
Yeah, you could just start listing every technique under the sun.
But I feel like they're looking for something more specific.
They are.
What do you think?
So you want to make sure you're looking at the job description and seeing what techniques they specifically mention.
Okay, so tailor it.
Tailor it to that.
Okay.
So if they mention a lot of coiling, make sure you're talking about your experience with coiling.
Got it.
And you can even say something like, I've noticed that your company specializes in, whatever type of basket weaving.
Right.
And I'm really eager to learn more about that specific technique.
Oh, that's great.
So you're demonstrating your skills,
yeah,
but you're also showing a willingness to learn.
And that you've done your research.
Exactly.
You've looked into the company.
Yes.
I love it. Okay, what about question number 3? This one asks, how do you source your materials for basket making? And again, I think it's tempting to just be like, oh, I go to the craft store.
Yeah, or Amazon.
Or get on Amazon. But what are they really trying to get at with this question?
They're trying to see your resourcefulness,
right,
your understanding of sustainability, and your potential connections within the basket making community.
Okay, so it's more about like the process and your values.
Exactly.
Okay.
So talk about, do you research different suppliers to find the most ethical options?
Yeah.
Do you have relationships with local farmers or artisans?
Oh, I like that.
Who provide specific materials?
Yeah.
Do you forage for natural materials yourself?
Yes, because then it shows that you have an understanding of the whole process.
You care about where your materials come from. You're not just taking them for granted.
Okay, love it. All right, question number 4. Can you describe your design process for creating a basket? Now, this is where I feel like you can let your personality shine through a little bit.
Yes, this is where they get a glimpse into your artistic mind.
Exactly.
How you take an idea and turn it into a physical object.
Yeah, so do you start with sketches? Do you use a mood board?
Mood boards are great.
Are they? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think about the purpose of the basket?
Absolutely.
What it's going to be used for?
Form and function.
Yeah.
How do those things all play together?
And be specific.
Be specific.
You're don't just say, oh, I'm inspired by nature.
Right.
What about nature?
Yeah, what in nature
is inspiring you?
Exactly.
Okay, so for example, I could say, I'm really inspired by the way that vines grow.
Yeah.
And kind of spiral around things.
Beautiful.
And I try to incorporate those shapes into my basket.
I love it.
Okay.
It's like you're giving them a window into your creative world.
Okay, question number 5 is, how do you ensure the quality of your finished baskets? So this seems pretty straightforward.
Right.
But I feel like it's also an opportunity to show your attention to detail.
Your commitment to excellence.
Yes.
Pride in your craft.
So what kind of things would you recommend people highlight in this answer?
Talk about the steps you take during the weaving process to make sure that basket is top-notch.
Yeah, so I always double-check my measurements.
Yes.
I always make sure that the tension is
resistant tension. Yes.
Even throughout the basket.
Exactly.
Oh.
And don't be afraid to get technical.
Okay.
Talk about the materials you use and why you chose those for their quality and durability.
So, for example, I could say, I only use willow that has been harvested in a sustainable way.
Wonderful.
Because I care about the environment.
And the quality.
And the quality of the basket.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, question number 6. This one, I feel like we all have stories about this. It says, have you ever had to troubleshoot a basket that wasn't turning out as planned?
Oh, absolutely.
I feel like everybody...
We've all been there.
...has a basket that went a little sideways.
Right.
So what are they trying to see with this question?
They want to see that you can problem solve.
Okay.
They want to see that you can handle challenges.
Okay.
And that you're willing to learn from your mistakes.
So they're not looking for perfection. They're looking for...
They're looking for resilience.
Okay.
Adaptability.
Okay, so what kind of story should we tell?
So pick a story where you learned something.
Okay.
Even if the basket wasn't perfect.
Got it. So it doesn't have to be a total disaster.
Right. It can be something where maybe you were weaving along and you realize, the base is not flat.
Yeah, or the handle is wonky.
Yeah,
or something like that.
How you identified the problem, the steps you took to fix it, and what you learned from the experience.
Perfect. Okay, I like that. All right, question number 7. How do you stay up to date with new basket making techniques or trends?
Okay.
So
this one, it's tempting to be like, oh, I just scroll Instagram all day.
Right, or Pinterest.
Right, or Pinterest.
But again,
what are they really getting at?
They want to see your passion for continuing to learn,
right.
Your commitment to evolving your craft,
right.
And how you connect.
So I should talk about, like,
yes,
the books I read, the workshops I go to.
Exactly. Maybe there's an online forum.
Oh, yeah.
Where you chat with other basket makers.
Yeah.
Be specific. Mention a book that's had a big impact on your work.
Yeah.
A workshop where you learn a groundbreaking technique.
Okay. So I could say, I'm a member of the National Basketry Organization.
Love it.
And I get their magazine and I go to their
annual conference.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Wonderful.
Okay, so we've done 7 questions now.
We're on a roll.
7 out of 10. How are you feeling? I'm feeling good. I think we're making great progress.
I think so too.
Yeah.
All right, so we've covered all of RoleCatcher's sample interview questions.
Yeah.
10 of them.
10 tough questions.
I feel like we've given some really solid advice.
I think so too.
On how to approach them.
And remember, we've got that AI tool.
Yes.
To help you really refine those answers.
Yes, I'm sure you're hitting all the right points.
Exactly.
Okay, so before we wrap up this deep dive, I wanted to talk about a couple more things from the career guide.
Okay, sounds good.
That I think will be really helpful in preparing for this interview.
Perfect.
So first of all, they talk about these different career stages.
Yes.
For a basket maker.
It's like a roadmap.
It is like a roadmap.
For your basket making journey.
And I think that's really cool to visualize.
Yes.
Where you could potentially go with this career.
Absolutely.
Like right now, you're applying for probably an entry-level position. But, in 5 years, 10 years, you could be running workshops, you could be teaching.
You could have your own studio.
You could have your own studio.
You could be collaborating with famous artists.
Yeah. It's really cool.
The possibilities are endless.
Yeah. So keep that in mind.
Yes.
As you're going into this interview.
Absolutely.
Because it will give you that sense of purpose.
It shows ambition.
Yeah. It's like, why are you doing this? Why do you want to be a basket maker?
Exactly.
Okay. And then RoleCatcher also has a couple of bonus tips for success.
Yes. A few little extra things.
That I thought were worth mentioning. So first of all, they say research the company.
Oh, that's so important.
Right. Or the individual that you're interviewing with.
It shows that you care.
It does.
You've taken the time to understand their work.
It's like showing up at a party.
Yeah.
With the perfect
dish.
Hostess gift. You've really thought about it.
You did your research.
Okay, what's another tip?
Come prepared with questions to ask them.
Oh, I like that.
It shows your engagement.
It does.
Your curiosity. It turns that interview into a conversation.
Yeah, it's like you're interviewing them a little bit too.
Exactly.
Okay, love it. And then the last one.
Have a portfolio.
Portfolio.
Yes.
Of your work.
Very important, especially for visual art like basket making.
Yes. Whether it's physical or online, you want to showcase your best pieces.
Yeah, and be able to talk about your work.
Exactly.
Okay, anything else to add before we wrap up this deep dive?
I think we've covered it all.
Okay, well, best of luck to everyone out there who is applying for a basket making job.
Yes.
I hope this deep dive has been helpful.
I hope so too.
And don't forget, RoleCatcher is an amazing resource.
Absolutely.
So make sure you check out all their...
The career guides?
Career guide, skill guides.
And those incredible AI tools?
AI tools.
They're game changers.
Yes. Okay, well, until next time.
Happy weaving.
Happy weaving.